This is the first time we do Nexus of Dreams. Basically the guild boss where you put 2 DPS on the team, doesn't matter assassin or super. If you only have 1 DPS, it's gonna be 1 times the point. 2 DPS is gonna be 1.8, 3 DPS is gonna be 2 times. And ideally, you wanna get at least 2, and maybe just 2 only. I think 3 DPS is not really useful because 1.8 to 2 times is not really a big jump. But 1 times to 1.8 times is a big jump. The special effect here is if you have 2 or more DPS, fire damage increase by 20%. And high damage increase, less damage increase. The gimmick here basically, if you use a buff, healing or defense skill, you will remove this curse stack thing, which will debuff the boss by 12% for 3 stacks. So it's 36% defense debuff. And when you reach max 3 stacks, the higher damage taken increase by 30%. So here's the team. Of course, we can run Akechi here. If you don't have Akechi, you can actually run Yui. I don't have her, but I already tested her by borrowing a guild mate. If you don't have Yui, then just run your strongest assassin, honestly. So Ryuji, Mesa, or Queen. Turret you want to save for the first skill on one side, because Turret can do good damage on the boss. So Kasumi, this is her Mindscape, and then she's running Wisdom and Virtue. You want at least 40% crit rate including Navigator, and then at least 15.9 Pierce including Navigator. If you don't have A1 Cord, you need 56% crit rate. Then next our support code is a Mindscape, and she is running Departure Control, which we need for defense debuff, and my code is A1R0. Then the sub DPS, of course, Akechi. Honestly, Akechi isn't like crazy impressive as a sub DPS, but this game mode forces you to use him anyways, so he's gonna be your best option if you have him, unless you have another assassin or sweeper that's very high awareness. So this is the Mindscape. Then this is the stat screen. So he's running Departure and Prosperity, which is required for the highlight rotation. Navigator, we have Futaba. We are obviously gonna all in this side because Kasumi does more damage. This is a Mindscape. She's running Resort Labor for defense debuff, and she's A0R0. For a Dagger, I'm using Glimmer. If you cannot reach the 15.9% Pierce, you can run Starry Compass or maybe even Arc Knife, since we are using Norn here. Then the persona we have, the first one we have Jikokuten, need Rakunda. This is very specific because of the highlight. I'll explain later in the battle. Then we have Shausa. Shausa you can also give Rakunda. Then we also need the signature skill, of course. Then lastly we have Norn. I'm using Norn because it allows me to save Vishnu on the other side, and I don't need Vishnu's debuff because Vishnu's debuff is too high already, and I can also afford to sacrifice, or I guess increase my Pierce a bit because I have the cards. Turn order, Akechi last because of DPS. Though the very interesting thing about Akechi is that when I use Akechi as first skill mod, I want Akechi to be third, and then I'm gonna skip the skill 3 also for first skill mod. But we're not gonna do that for this video because, you know, Akechi should be Kasumi. Unless you don't have Kasumi or something, then yeah, Akechi for first skill mod. But the rotation is gonna be different depending on the main DPS. So in the first turn, you do a Jikokuten Rakunda. It has to be from Jokuten because we will use his highlight later on. Then code with skill 1. If it's easier code, you use skill 2. Then we Kasumi skill 2 on Akechi. This will also buff Akechi's attack a little bit, so he'll do a bit more damage. Then now with Jokuten highlight, make sure you target Kasumi. Jikokuten's overclock allows the buff highlight to buff attack also. Then skill 2, debuff defense. So having Akechi here is actually quite nice because he can heal with skill 1. So it becomes tanking, it makes tanking quite a lot easier here. We target skill 1. Then we do Garudine. Make sure we insert the debuff defense. And then you use skill 1, make sure you shock. And Kasumi skill 1. Akechi skill 1. So we're gonna use skill 3 2 times only this fight because it's better. At least for Kasumi team. Because Kasumi only attacks like 2 times or 2 turns in 6 turns technically. So we can afford to rotate skill 1 and skill 2 without having much consequences. Because if you do like a 2-1-3, 2-1-3 rotation with Akechi, there's gonna be some turns where you miss out the buff. The skill 1, either skill 1 or skill 2 buff, but Kasumi doesn't really care because she doesn't attack for like 2 turns. Then Wonder, you do Shausa. Then we do a chord highlight. And then Kasumi highlight. And you can check your crit here, I forgot. You can check your crit here plus 32%. I overcap by a bit. Then we skill 3 with chord. Do some good damage. 1.8 not bad. Skill 3 should be 900k plus. Okay. Then skill 3 from Akechi. Also the recorded damage. Akechi's recorded damage is also lasts for 2 turns only. Which means that if you use skill 1, if you do like a 2-1-3 rotation, there's gonna be 1 turn where there's no recorded damage. But it's fine again because Kasumi does not take for 1 turn. Then shouts out Gunda. Then skill 2 from chord. Now you can do an Akechi highlight. Let's do a bit no damage. Using like a debuff highlight, shouts out highlight is not really useful here because it lasts for 2 turns only. And we cannot have, we don't have that debuff on Akechi's on chord's turn, on Kasumi's turn on the last turn later. Because now it's turn 4. Now we skill 2 on Akechi, buff a bit of attack. Then skill 2. It should be fine. Just make sure your Kasumi is always more than 50% HP. For the virtue card set, 12% crit rate. Then you Garudyne with Norn. Then skill 1 shock. And then skill 1. Akechi skill 1. And heal a little bit. As long as Kasumi is more than 50% health, then everything is okay. It should be fine here. Okay. And for Tower skill 2, the final big damage turn. Then now you can do a Chokutan highlight. Make sure you target Kasumi for the attack buff. And then you start. Trausa. There you go, Kasumi highlight. And then you do a chord highlight. Not chord highlight, chord skill 3. And Kasumi highlight again. Awesome, nice damage. Then skill 3 from Kasumi. This potentially can be a new record. Let's see. Should be 400k plus. Yep. It's a new record. Probably not. 146. Close enough. The other side we have the Frost Scale Mod boss. The same special effect here. More fire damage when you have 2 or more DPS, then resonance crit damage and attack increase, and the more times you hit the boss, the more damage buff you'll get, which is also the gimmick of the boss. So Fluid and Frost Scale Mod is going to be very nice here. Then I'm going to run Turbo. You're probably wondering why I'm not running Tempest Wind. There's 2 reasons. The first one is I cannot run Tempest Wind with regular Navigator Wind. And the gap between Navigator Wind and Okechi is too big to use. So I'm stuck to not using Tempest Wind. The second reason, if I run Tempest Wind, who is going to be our sustain? Right? There's no sustain. Maybe except for the skill 3 Wind, which can heal. No, actually, if I use Tempest Wind, I should be using Okechi here, which cannot even heal anything. But you get the point. Turbo here can actually sustain a little bit with skill 2. And that is actually enough to keep the team alive, just barely. Now let's look at DPS. For Scale Mont, this is the Mindscape. Then she's running the Freedom Triumph, and she's A0R0. You need at least 58.8% crit rate, including Navigator, and 17.5% pierce rate. So these are pretty high requirements. Then our sub DPS technically, or the kind that is the main DPS and also sub DPS, it's gonna be Fluid. Fluid can do pretty good damage. He is a Mindscape which barely has anything. Then he is running Departure Control for defense debuff. and I don't have the 5-star weapon. Then our buffer is going to be Turbo. So I already mentioned why I chose Turbo, I'm not going to mention again, but I just want to point out that the skill 2 can help the team sustain a bit. Then when you use it during extraction, you get a shield, which is what I'm going to do in the battle. So this is our Mindscape, it's running Creation with Constellation, and she's A0R0. Then our Navigator is going to be the regular Wind. This is our Mindscape, and she's running Resolve Labor for defense debuff, and she's A6R3. For Dagger, I'm running Machina. If you don't have enough Pierce, you can run Arc Knife for Starry Compass. Then for the Persona, first one we have Vishnu of course, for the signature skill, and also Rakunda. We have Dionysus for Repellent, for crit rate and crit damage buff. Then we have Yanosik for Rakunda, which can also apply the mark the first time you use it. So more defense debuff. For turn order, like this 1, 2, 3, 4, you want Full Rate to be before first turn 1 so that you can align the highlights properly. First turn, Turbo skill 3. Then we do a Vishnu Rakunda Deeper Defense. Then for red skill 1, you ideally want to inflict Wind Sweep here. But I'm too lazy to reset. So yeah, just roll with this. Then we do skill 3. You want the Wind Sweep because of Vishnu later. Because when you use Vishnu signature skill on a target that's already Wind Swept, you will debuff them even more. It will increase the wind damage taken. Then we skill 1 with Wind. Deeper Defense. Then Turbo skill 1. Buff the damage. And then Vishnu. Mount highlight. Then we do a Floret skill 3. Ideally you want to reach 5 stacks now with Floret, so that he will do more damage later on. Then Mon skill 1. Decent damage. So this boss hits pretty hard. Hits pretty hard. That's why we have Turbo. Before that we do a Wind skill 1 debuff. We do a Wind skill 1 again so that we can align the skill 1 skill 3 for next turn. Which is turn 4, which is also a big damage turn. But now we actually activate Extraction. Usually with Turbo, you do a skill 1 or skill 2 first, and then you do an enhanced skill 3 during the Extraction. But this time we're going to do a skill 3 first, and then we do a skill 2. Because the skill 2 during Extraction will give you a shield, allows us to sustain more. I will be losing the 10% PS when I enhance skill 3, but I can afford it, so it's fine. Then we do Rebellion. And I'm also gonna run Tempest Wind because I cannot run regular Wind as Navigator. Then we skill 3. And if I run Tempest Wind, also the sustain is gonna be an issue. I need to run like healing or whatever on the, which should be annoying. Then we do a Dionysus highlight here. Then you can check your crit. Plus 7.5% because of the card set. Then you can do skill 3. Then you tank. Then we do Wind skill 3. Just heal whoever is the lowest. The Windard is typically a Furet because he's the fearless one of the team. Then we do a skill 1. Then Rakunda and Yanosik to also apply the mark. This is useful because the Vishnu debuff already wore off, so the mark is like a substitute. Then skill 3. Sadly there's no Wind Sweep this turn, so he will do less damage, which is still pretty good damage actually. Then skill 1. Let's see how much this does. It will be 700, 800k. Yep, that's nice. Okay, that's fine. Ideally you want that Myriad Slash to hit either Wonder or Turbo. Don't hit Wonder, okay. Ooh, this is very dangerous. I think we are okay. Because Turbo is physical, he resists the Myriad Slash, and Wonder is generally tanky. Especially if you have him at a higher super level, right? Activate the this thing again, extraction, and we do the same thing again with skill 3 and then skill 2 to get the shoot. I hope they can tank. I think barely though. Then we turbo highlight. Of some damage. Then we do Vishnu. Then if you rescue 3, you should do good damage. 200k plus. Yep, very nice. Then we do a win skill 3, you heal the lowest HP. I think I'm still gonna heal forward actually. Nah, okay, maybe focus first, but now I need to pray that I tank. Then we skill 3. Then we pray now. One more hit. I think we are fine. Oh no, we are fine. I thought there's another hit. Okay, we are good. We skill 1. Then we rebellion. Of the crit. Then skill 3 from forward. It should be big damage also. Oh yeah, very nice. Then we do a skill 3. This one I can heal whoever because it's ending already. Then we can do a one highlight. Then skill 1. Almost 900k, pretty good. It should be around 100 million or maybe a bit less.